Hey everybody, my name is Jeremiah Craig and I have 3 boots here that are over 10 years old and they're all from Boulet Boots. I got a comment from KG a couple of months ago and he was asking for a review of these Boulet 9502 boots after I've used them for over 10 years. And I figured we'd just look at all of my Boulets because they're all over 10 years old. So this is a decade-long review video of 3 Boulet boots. Let's get into it.
Old boots got soul, and I carry on this way, and we get better every day.
If you like my videos, you might also like my music. I just released a new song called One Shot, and it's about the idea that you could trade a .45 caliber bullet for a shot of whiskey in the Old West if you didn't happen to have any money on you. Better yet, it's told from the perspective of Doc Holliday. So you gotta listen to it. I would really like you to check it out. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, on all streaming platforms. So check it out. Give it a shot. Cheers, everybody. Let's get into the video. Ha! I've become pretty familiar with the Boulet boot brand over the past 14 years, so I kind of want to talk about the pros and the cons of the boots in the brand in this video right now. But first, let's sort of go over the 3 styles that I have here, starting out with my oldest boot, this Boulet model number 7031. This is my first boot ever, so as you can imagine, it taught me what to do with boots and what not to do with boots. As you can see, they are beat to hell. I mean, all of these cracks here are from a gasoline spill about my 3rd or 4th year into the boot, and I wasn't able to clean the gasoline off the boots fast enough, so they have some pretty nasty cracks today, but the cracks haven't slowed them down any. I've been on 6 tours in this boot, and they've been resold 6 times as well. This boot has been through it all, and really the reason why I'm such a big fan of the Boulet brand. Boulet has discontinued this model. You can't find it in their 2020 catalog, but they do have a similar model. It's model number 7272. Now let's talk about the 9502 boot right here, this black Boulet. This is my 3rd boot that I've ever owned, and I pretty much just liked the 7031 so much that I just wanted it in black, which is pretty much what this is, except it has a little bit different of a stitch pattern on the shaft, and it has performed just as well as the 7031. These are about 12 years old. This has been my go-to black boot for quite a while, but I'm starting to rotate other black boots that I have in more frequently and not wear this quite as much just because the others fit better, and we'll get into Boulet fit in a minute, but I have been really happy with the performance of these boots over the last 12 years. The only thing that has gone wrong with it is that there's a little bit of tearing and ripping on this pull tab up here. But I mean, I would imagine something like that happened with plenty other brands after 12 years. So for the most part, this has held up beautifully and I've loved wearing this boot and I look forward to wearing it more in the future for sure. Last but not least, let's talk about the Boulet model number 8502. This is a Cayman belly boot with a French toe on it. This is my first ever exotic, and as many of you know, when I tried this boot on, I had a spiritual experience. I could not leave the store without it, and I absolutely love this boot. It hasn't been resold at all, and it's about 10 years old. This has been my dress boot for quite a while, which is why I haven't resold it, because I don't wear it that often, only for like really nice occasions or if I'm having a good day and I just want to wear it around. This is a little bit more of a traditional build than the others, and by that I mean it just has a hard leather insole rather than one of these soft leather insoles that's non-removable. And this is no longer offered by Boulet. It's a discontinued model. In fact, I don't think they have any Cayman boots in their 2020 catalog, but we'll get into that a little bit later as well. Now that you're familiar with the Boulet boots that I've worn for over 10 years, I want to talk about the pros and the cons that I've noticed of the brand over that span of time. The biggest pro about Boulet boots in my book is that they're long-lasting and durable. I mean, this here, the 7031, my first Boulet boot, it's cracked, it's been all over the country, and it has never let me down. Never. So the fact that it is still kicking today, 14 years later, and it's my first boot, which I treated horribly, just speaks so highly of the brand, in my opinion. To invest $250 in a pair of Boulet boots and have them last 14 years plus seems like a really good return on investment to me. And they have several different outsole options too, not just leather, but a bunch of different rubber outsoles. They got steel toes, they got crepe soles, they got hybrid soles. So really they have a bunch of different options depending on what you're going to be using the Boulet boot for. And my final pro is that they're made in Canada. So right here in North America, some of you folks here in the US might be a little bit upset that Boulet is made in Canada. Maybe you only buy US boots, but I'm telling you that I really feel like the construction and the quality that is in this Canadian-made boot is better than some US-made boots, specifically Abilene comes to mind, and some modern-made just-in-US boots. I really feel like Boulet is better than those two and on par with several other US-made brands. No brand is without its cons, so let's talk about that for a second because Boulet is definitely not perfect. For one, their sizing is really confusing. If you look in Boulet's 2020 catalog, you'll see a lot of E-widths and triple E-widths. Now this is a little bit confusing because the E-width for Boulet equals a D-width in the United States, and the triple E is actually a double E in the United States. So if you're thinking about going with Boulet, just take that width size down a letter, and that's really what you're gonna be getting in the US. I wear a 10.5 E Boulet. Technically, I'm a 12B, but Boulet doesn't make narrow sizes. At least I didn't see very many for men in their 2020 catalog. So I had to go with the 10.5 E when I did get Boulet boots. And as you can see, they have kind of stretched over the welt because my toes kind of come out a little bit further than what this boot is meant for. So it's stretched and it's become comfortable, but I feel like it's just not as good looking as some of my other boots that I have that are a little bit more wide or a true 12B boot. So, I mean, their widths are a little bit confusing, but you can get over it pretty quickly if you know what you're looking for. Another thing that you might not like about Boulet boots is that they have limited exotic options. They're not offering the Cayman belly boots anymore, at least as far as their 2020 catalog is concerned. You will mostly find a lot of ostrich boots, which is cool, but you're not going to find very many snakeskins. You're not going to find very much Cayman. You're not going to find very much elephant. You're not going to find very much else in the exotic as far as Boulet is concerned, except for ostrich. So if you're into ostrich, that's awesome. If not, you might want to stick with the regular leather cowboy boots from them. And finally, the other thing that I've noticed that Boulet is not very good at is their customer service and marketing. Boulet is not very good at customer service at all. In fact, they pretty much just rely on their retailers for customer service. But sometimes you might run into a retailer that tells you to then talk to Boulet directly about your order, but then Boulet will tell you to talk to the retailer, and you end up in this customer service purgatory and you're not going to get anywhere. So they really need to pick up the slack, in my opinion, as far as customer service, but also marketing. They're not a very exciting brand to follow. If you're not in it, if you're not in Boulet boots, you really have no reason to try them. So they don't share pictures, they don't share their story in social media, and they don't engage with their fans. They don't create a exciting community around their brand, which makes it kind of boring to like them in the first place. It's definitely not as good as Ariats or Tacovas by far, and they need to improve in that fast, or they might be in trouble in the future. I'm kind of worried about it. still the pros outweigh the cons as far as I'm concerned for me, just because it's hard for me not to get excited about a brand of boots that I've worn for almost half my life. So it's really ingrained in me, and they've been there for me when I've needed a good quality boot, which is the whole reason why I switched to cowboy boots to begin with. So I find it really lucky that I started with Boulet. So they've lasted me forever. I've just enjoyed the hell out of them, and they have been able to take my horrible treatment, which says a lot because I'm really bad on things, as you can see from the 7031. If you're interested in checking out what Boulet has right now, I've linked up the current catalog down in the description below, and I would definitely like to hear your experience with the brand as well. So if you can leave me your comments just below about what you think of Boulet, if you love them or hate them, I'm definitely interested to hear, and everybody else coming through could definitely check that out as well to see if all of my stuff is just BS or if other folks support what I have to say about the brand, and then you can make up your own decision. Thank you so much for watching today. Don't forget to subscribe while you're here, and I'll see you next time. Peace, everybody. Have a good one.
A decade in Boulet. You can wear them every day, and they can handle the pressure through all the work and the play. Thank you so much for watching today. My name is Jeremiah Craig. Why don't you subscribe while you're here? And don't forget to check out some of my music on Spotify or wherever you listen to music. I'll see you next time. Peace. Have a good one.